Hey guys, Cody with CJC Off-Road. Today is a very exciting day. This is the 23 Super Duty debut video for us. This past weekend, I was able to go and source a 2023 F250 Lariat Ultimate with a 6.7 high output. It is a mouthful, however, this is an extremely nice truck. For those of you who have been following along on social media, we did order 6.7 high output Platinum Tremor. That is me built in the batch 2, as Ford is calling it, so we're expecting that truck later this year. However, we wanted to get one as soon as possible to show you guys just what these trucks can become with some tasteful mods and some excellent suspension. Diving right on into it, this truck is insane. A lot of people are complaining about the front ends. However, in person, I truly think this truck does not look as bad as everyone's acting online. Again, we've seen a ton of comments. And in fact, the day we picked our truck up, we posted some of our socials showing you just some decent photos what this truck actually looked like instead of a fly-by traffic video that people saw when Ford was test driving these trucks, etc. And it really is nice. Once you get inside the truck, you truly forget what the truck looks like and you really do enjoy the driving experience. The seats are more comfortable, the stereo sounds better. The 6.7 high output is in fact the fastest factory diesel truck I've ever driven. And I think it would even rival some of the modified trucks I've driven thanks to that 10-speed transmission. So it truly is something unique. And yeah, if you really weren't sold on these trucks before, once they hit the lots, go jump in a Lariat, a Platinum, whatever, and you're truly gonna be sold as this really is the nicest luxury truck on the market. Let's go take this thing for a drive and I'll show you guys exactly what I mean.
All right, so we have 500 horsepower, 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. This is definitely the fastest stock diesel truck I have ever driven, even compared to my 21, which previously I thought was probably the most fun diesel truck to drive. This now somehow outdoes that, so it's been it's pretty darn cool. Interior wise, this truck is just ridiculous. Again, about 2 weeks ago I called Cole and said, hey, I don't think I want to take the 23 when it comes in. I really love my 21. Until I test drove this thing and just drove it 5.5 hours back from where we picked it up. And it's hard to put into words or in the video, but just the comfort of the seats, the stereo, just all the weird amenities, the heads-up display. They basically took the 21, 22 trucks. The 22s obviously have the bigger screens, and they just somehow made it a better truck. Obviously, you're paying for it. There's gonna be a ton of comments about the cost of these trucks. There's not gonna be much of an argument there. However, as prices rise all across the boards with all the manufacturers, especially when a refresh is occurring, that's just gonna be part of it. But comfort, stereo, like on the 21s, a lot of people had complaints about the stereo on the Lariats. The stereo on this is excellent. The, again, seat comfort is good. Technology in general out of the Fords, I think, is probably class leading on most of the vehicles, like the Bronco and things like that. The digital gauge cluster is extremely cool. Adaptive cruise control. Another interesting thing to note, though, that we actually just discovered before we went on this test drive, the drive mode is something that I'm familiar with from like a Bronco or like if you had an Explorer ST, you can turn on a drive mode. So now this truck has a drive mode for slippery wet roads where it'll literally put the truck in full drive, but I believe it kind of adjusts the way it applies the power and doesn't lock the diff, so then therefore you're able to use four-wheel drives in wet weather, so that's something super cool. I didn't have a sunroof before, so that's pretty nice as well. Noise also, somehow, we'll see when I put the bigger 37s on this, and obviously like even a Ridge Grappler, you can hear more than a stock tire, but noise, this truck seems to be somehow quieter inside as well. I mean, I guess the negatives that I found is the ride quality, which we're about to address. This particular model came with the higher capacity rear leaf springs, so those kind of suck for ride. And that's just going to be something that's going to occur with the Tremors as well, because they kind of force you into that package. Tire pressure, my whole drive home, it was in like the mid 70s, so you're feeling a lot of the small stuff on the road. But just in general, a really cool truck. And then, you know, my only few complaints I have with this truck are something that we can address overall anyway, and that's exactly what we plan to do. I guess another comment we're probably going to see is like, how does this compare? The 23 Ram is the same Ram that we've had since, essentially 19 minus a few small changes. Even the 23 is very similar. They did at least add the digital cluster, which is kind of a cool amenity, if you will. I haven't sat in a 24 Duramax yet. I've only seen them on the outside, but I have sat in the 23, and the Duramaxes actually really do have nice amenities and perks to them as well. But it's just as far as speed, as far as towing, off-road performance, because the GM platform's a little limited on that front, this is probably, in my opinion, and I'm sure people are saying I'm biased, but this is probably the nicest truck for this year. So there's just a lot of cool small stuff where a lot of people are gonna complain that Ford doesn't listen or can't deliver vehicles or whatever, but like there is so many cool improvements made to this truck that that I just don't think that any of the other manufacturers have kept up, at least for the model year 24. This truly is a very cool truck. So there's just a lot of cool small stuff where a lot of people are gonna complain that Ford doesn't listen or can't deliver vehicles or whatever, but like there is so many cool improvements made to this truck that I just don't think that any of the other manufacturers have kept up, at least for the model year 24. This truly is a very cool truck. It's extremely comfortable. Again, I guess we're almost 800 miles logged in this truck, and within a weekend, thanks to the far drive to get it and everything. But it really is unique, and we keep finding more features. Electric parking brake, kind of stupid, but kind of convenient at the same time. The list doesn't really end, and as we look around, there's just a lot of cool features. The adaptive cruise control, I used it for 300 miles on my drive, and it was insane just like how reactive and well that system works. Mileage, that's gonna be another question. Right now, with some kind of more feathered highway driving, it's reading just about 21. For my trip, when I left the dealership, I had cruise control set at 85 for about 2.5 hours, so we're consistently just did 85. Then I hit a ton of bad California traffic, and I think it dropped down to 18.6, but that was with probably a lot of speeding and me just trying to get home after spending literally the whole day on the road. So where do you complain about this truck? I can't really find one. There's going to be some complaints about the aesthetics, but I think as more people see these trucks in person, their opinions are really going to change. The 21, 22 trucks, the sales numbers pretty much sum it up. That's probably the best looking HD truck out there. And you pretty much see those everywhere around town, especially, even California, somewhere you don't see a lot of HD trucks. I really can't even drive to work without seeing, a couple of Super Duties. So I think a lot of people really like those trucks, but I think as more of these get on the road, people are really going to like it.
Like I said, I was really hesitant on jumping into this 23 just because I truly do love my truck so much. It is the ultimate Swiss Army knife. I can hunt, I can really do anything I want with that truck, and we've talked about it in so many other videos. However, once I spent 5.5 hours driving in this truck, I pretty much fell in love. From the more comfortable seats, the more power, to just everything about it, it is an improved driving experience on a driving experience that I thought could not be improved upon. So those of you who are on the shelf, I really did think this would be a tough truck to turn down. And if you're gonna be thinking about doing an upgrade, I would give it a strong look. We're gonna be doing a couple more videos as we move forward to kind of see the differences in the suspension, because there are a few slight ones. And we'll be putting a Carli system on this in the next video and actually do a couple iterations of this truck right off the bat. So subscribe to the channel if you're not, follow along, and we're excited to show you guys this brand new Super Duty.